عرفت باسم لؤلؤة المحيط الهندي، وقديما باسم تاروبان، وأطلق عليها العرب القدماء اسم سرنديب، ثم عرفت لاحقا باسم سيلان، إلى أن استقر اسمها على سريلانكا، ويعني الأرض اللامعة. نشأت فيها ممالك وحضارات قديمة، وكانت عاصمتها كولومبو مركز التجارة للرومان والعرب والصينيين، لكنها تعرضت للاستعمار منذ القرن السادس عشر بشكل متعاقب، بدءا بالبرتغاليين ثم الهولنديين ثم الإنجليز، حتى حصلت على الحكم الذاتي عام 1948، وأصبح اسمها دولة سيلان المستقلة. وفي عام 1972 عدل اسمها ليصبح سريلانكا. إنها بلاد الشاي والتوابل والمطاط والأحجار الكريمة، التي أصبحت طبيعتها الجميلة مقصدا للسياحة العالمية، التي تشكل الآن أحد أهم مواردها.
My name is Amza, Fakir Moidin Amza. I'm the ambassador of Sri Lanka to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Have been here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia since October 2021. We enjoy every minute of our life here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I live outside of TQ, which in a place called Al-Waha. I have a lot of friends from the Saudi society, and I meet them always, at least in a weekly basis. We go together for a number of events, including the Saudi team matches, and I also support the Al Hilal here. So I'm very much, connected with the Saudi society here, and I'm so pleased about it. In 1994, I joined the Sri Lanka Foreign Service. No sooner I joined the Sri Lankan Foreign Service, I used to handle as a desk officer the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So I know Saudi Arabia to a great extent as a desk officer. That was way back in 1994, about 30 years back. And 1998, I visited this country to perform Hajj. At that time, I was working in the Sri Lanka mission in Cairo as the second secretary. So that was my first visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I came with my family, with my wife and 2 children. My children were 5 years and 2 years old at that point of time. That was my first interaction. Since then, I have been developing an interest in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But I read a lot about Saudi even before I came here. But amazingly, when I came here, Saudi Arabia is much, much different from what I knew. We have about 185,000 Sri Lankans living in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. As you know, most of them are working in the household sector, and in the recent past, we also have been increasingly getting Sri Lankans coming in the skill and semi-skill sector, as well as the professional sector. I think we find a very comfortable environment here. And I also want to take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to the Saudi society for employing such a big number of Sri Lankan households. People-to-people contact between our 2 countries goes back to several centuries. As you know, Sri Lanka was a very, very important and pivotal point in the ancient Silk Route, where Arabs used to travel in those routes, between Arab land as well as to the Far East. I think Sri Lanka was one of the most important port of call at that point of time. And the name of Serendip was given by the Arabs, and that came as the serendipity. So I think we have a very, very rich background when it comes to the history as far as the Arabs as well as the Sri Lankans. And it is continued to increase. The people-to-people contacts have been continued to increase. And our people come here very often, partly because also to perform Hajj. We have this year, we have 3,500 Sri Lankans came here to perform Hajj. Our link between our two peoples have been emanated, strengthened by the people-to-people contact, which has come from not only the trade, commerce, common culture, as well as the religion.
العلاقات السعودية السريلانكية هي علاقات قديمة إذا تحدثنا عنها منذ آلاف السنين، ولكن إذا تحدثنا في العصر الحاضر فنحن نتحدث عن سبعينيات القرن الماضي، وتحديدا في العام 1974 عندما أنشأت المملكة العربية السعودية أول سفارة لها في سريلانكا، وكما يطلق عليها وتحب هذه الدولة يطلق عليها سيلان. بعد ذلك أنشأت الحكومة السريلانكية سفارتها في جدة في عام 1978، وبعد ذلك تقريبا ب4 أعوام نقلت هذه السفارة من جدة إلى الرياض. لذلك عندما نتتبع تاريخيا العلاقات السعودية السريلانكية هي علاقات طويلة، هي علاقات تاريخية بدأت بأول زيارة وفد رسمي في العام 1995. بعد هذه الزيارة الرسمية بدأت الوفود السريلانكية والسعودية والتبادل التجاري والاقتصادي والاستثماري بين الدولتين. طبعا عندما نتحدث عن العلاقات السعودية السريلانكية اقتصاديا فنحن نتحدث بأن المملكة تمثل الشريك 27 لسريلانكا تجاريا. نتحدث بأن هناك العديد من المجالات الاستثمارية سواء على مستوى البنية التحتية، سواء على مستوى الإنشاءات والطرق والمستشفيات والاستثمار والسياحة، فهناك كثير من الشركات السعودية تعمل في سريلانكا. أيضا سريلانكا تعتبر مورد موثوق ومهم للعمالة إذا تحدثنا على مستوى العمالة المنزلية أو حتى على مستوى العمالة الماهرة في المجال الكهربائي وفي المجال التقني بشكل كبير. وجود اليوم أكثر من 400 عامل وعاملة سريلانكي على أرض المملكة هذا في تأكيد بأن التعليم التقني في هذه الدولة هو تعليم يقف على أرضية صلبة، وأن المملكة لديها موثوقية في هذه العمالة القادمة من الدولة الصديقة سريلانكا.
I have not visited every part of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. As you know, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is very big, 2.1 million square kilometers. I have been to important places like Mecca, Medina, Taif, then Qasim in the eastern part. I have also been to Al-Qoba. But I think basically what I know is something that I have seen in your rich culture. This is in Masmak as well as in Diriyah, where you try to understand the rich culture of this country, which is amazing. One of the cultural activity that still I remember is and still cherish my mind is the Camel Festival that happened some time ago, and I went there and it was a full day event, and that gives us the rich culture of this country. As you know, this camel is part of the culture of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. To that matter, it is the entire region. I also had an experience very recently to go to the desert and spend a night in the desert. So like that, I think we would like to explore every opportunity which are sometime which are very unique in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. we have done remarkably well for last 20 months when it comes to our relationship. I think I must start saying that Sri Lanka and Saudi Arabia, the two countries that always support each other in an international arena. You know, Saudi Arabia has always been supporting Sri Lanka whenever Sri Lanka had a challenging time, and that is one country that we always rely on, you know, whenever they are, including what happened in the United Nations Human Rights Councils. And in the same time, the Sri Lanka is also supporting Saudi Arabia in a great level. And Sri Lanka, one of the first countries that supported Saudi Arabia when it come to the 2030 Expo bid. You know, we were very happy to see the first ever foreign ministerial visit from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on a bilateral nature took place in 2022 March, when Saudi Arabia Foreign Minister, His Highness Faisal bin Farhan, undertook a visit to Sri Lanka, and that opened a lot of avenues for further cooperations. And until today, we have about 8 visits that has come from Sri Lanka to here, including my foreign minister visit. The Sri Lankan Foreign Minister, His Excellency Ali Sabri, came here on the invitation extended by his Saudi counterpart. In June, we had the first the joint commission on between Sri Lanka and Saudi Arabia, set and then discussed and then identified 63 areas of cooperation for further cooperation. So I think we are in a very strong foot when it comes to our relationship, and I would call it we are at a irreversible excellence when it comes to our relationship. Many Saudis are going as tourists. I think if you take the figures, I think way back in 2016 and 17, that was the very peak time we had. We had about 40,000 Saudis went to Sri Lanka, 2016, 17, and even 18. But I think in the 19, from 2019, they started, coming down. Our aim is to get them back to the original, at least more than that, because Sri Lanka could offer a lot for the Saudi tourists. And you know, when we were talking about it. And we have so much there to cherish. And we were encouraging most of the more Saudi nationals to come to Sri Lanka as tourists. And we know that Sri Lanka will not disappoint them. And it's a country with rich culture, nature, and adventure tourism. And you need anything and you will find it in Sri Lanka. I think that's place, and I take this opportunity for also to invite the viewers to make use of Sri Lanka as your next destination when you plan your next holiday.
هناك العديد من الاتفاقيات التي تم توقيعها ما بين الحكومة السعودية والحكومة السريلانكية، تتمثل أولا في تجنب الازدواج الضريبي، تتمثل في المشاورات السياسية، وأيضا بعض الاتفاقيات التي تتمثل أو المذكرات التي تتمثل على المستوى السياحي وعلى المستوى الرياضي والعلمي. في المجمل المملكة كانت تقف مع الحكومة السريلانكية على مدى السنوات الماضية، وربما مركز الملك سلمان للإغاثة ومركز الملك عبد الله أو الخدمات الإنسانية والمركز السعودي للتنمية هي خير شواهد على العلاقات التي تربط الحكومة السعودية والسريلانكية. المملكة ضخت كمساعدات في البنية التحتية أو كمساعدات للحكومة السريلانكية تجاوزت هذه الأموال المليار ريال. وعندما تحصل اجتماعات إلى يومنا الحاضر، الجانب السريلانكي ما يفتأ أن يتذكر مثل هذه المواقف الإنسانية للمملكة.
I think the Vision 2030 is one of the important vision that I have seen in the contemporary history of the world. I think this has the major three thrives: thriving economy, vibrant society, and ambitious nation. I think we see that in one witnessing the way that this Vision 2030 program as well as the projects are being implemented. Not only the project, and the project has several sub-projects. So this is an amazing project with objective of having 600% of its income from the non-oil revenue. It has been amazingly also interesting people with socio and economic and benefit. And we are also increasingly see the emergence of Saudi Arabia not only as a regional player but as an international player as well. I think the programs particularly designed for the first 5 years, I think they are doing remarkably well, more than what they have achieved, and particularly in areas like women empowerment and reducing the inflation. All these programs are implemented by the Council of Ministers, and at least in 2 councils you see His Royal Highness the Crown Prince is heading. That shows the commitment by the leadership to see possible how this is being implemented, and the amount of progress being reviewed and further expanded with necessary assistance. So the commitment from the leadership. My country, Sri Lanka, could be part of it. We are already working with the line agencies here, the line ministries, to take part on those projects, like engineers, quantity surveyors, and architects, and also the designers. Already many Sri Lankans who have come here and work in those projects. And when you also talk about the Saudi Green Initiative, where you would like to plant 10 billion trees in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is again a very powerful and ambitious program. And we have already started discussion with Ministry of Agriculture, Environment and Water, and a delegation has gone there to Sri Lanka to see how best we can bring the Sri Lankan cocoa peat to use as a medium of holding the waters where these plants can come in, and also to take part in the Saudi Green Initiative in a bigger way by providing not only the cocoa peat and the expertise and the plants as well.
طبعا العلاقات السعودية السريلانكية مثلها مثل أي علاقات أخرى. هذه العلاقات ربما أو تشوبها بعض التحديات. الاعتراف بهذه التحديات هذا يعني إيجاد حلول لها من الجانب السعودي والجانب السريلانكي. هناك تحديات على مستوى الكلي، وأنا هنا أتحدث عن الأزمات العالمية، نتحدث عن أزمات الديون السيادية، نتحدث عن أي ركود اقتصادي من شأنه أن يؤثر على العلاقات بين الدول. وهناك حقيقة بعض التحديات التي نستطيع أن نتحدث عنها ما بين المملكة العربية السعودية وسريلانكا، ربما واحد منها هو البعد الجغرافي ما بين المملكة وسريلانكا. هذا البعد الجغرافي ربما يكون هناك بعض العوائق في عمليات التبادل التجاري. أيضا ربما نتحدث أيضا عن بعض العوائق ما بين المملكة وما بين الأنظمة والقوانين واللوائح الاستثمارية التي تسمح للمستثمرين السعوديين هناك. ولكن أنا متأكد في المجمل بأن الحكومة السريلانكية مع الزيارات المتبادلة والجلوس مع المستثمرين السعوديين عن طريق ممثلة في الغرف التجارية، أنا متأكد بأن هذه العوائق هي ستصبح جزء من التاريخ وهي تعمل جنبا إلى جنب. الحكومة السريلانكية حريصة على فتح أواصر الانفتاح الاقتصادي والاستثماري، ونتحدث أيضا التجاري. حجم التبادل التجاري اليوم هو لا يمثل رقم كبير، ولكن عندما نشاهد الزيارات المتبادلة هذا يؤكد لنا بأن هناك رغبة كل الطرفين لزيادة هذا الرقم.
I think I would like to refresh the long-standing relationship with our two countries. our peoples have been very friendly. And the Sri Lanka Saudi Arabia relationship, as I told earlier, goes back to several centuries. We would like to develop this relationship. I think we would like to tell our friends in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, look at Sri Lanka, go and visit and see and enjoy the hospitality of Sri Lanka. My people in Sri Lanka, I would like to tell that Saudi Arabia is one country that also has been always helping Sri Lanka. And I will try to recall the recent evacuation process that took place in Sudan, where Saudi Arabia, 32 people have been, Saudi Arabia has helped to, evacuate 32 Sri Lankans. And a mere request was there. So we would like to tell our people in Sri Lanka, we have a friend here. And I think we need to strengthen these friends. And it is very important for the people-to-people contacts, which has been in existence for centuries, to flourish and expand and further strengthen in the years and months to come.